When I first started my business, one of the first big pieces we had to figure out was healthcare. And I'm sure if you're self-employed or an entrepreneur or thinking about being one of those, this is a huge piece that you're also thinking about too. In today's video, we're going to go over what we use for healthcare and why I think it's the best option. So let's get into it. What's up, you guys? My name is Michael Tandarich and I run a full-service marketing agency, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Like I said, today we're going to talk about what healthcare options we use and why I think it's the best option out there. Now, if you're an entrepreneur or self-employed, it's pretty obvious that if you don't have a job, healthcare isn't really provided. And so going and finding those options out there that work for you is, well, pretty limited. When it comes down to it, the only options you really have when it comes to healthcare are either purchasing something off a government website, which is very, very expensive, or having no health insurance at all and just being self-pay, which is also very, very expensive. So when I quit my full-time job and moved into doing my business full-time, finding some kind of healthcare was a huge piece for my wife and I, especially since we had 2 kids. Luckily for us, we were able to find another option that wasn't just government healthcare and wasn't just self-pay. And that option that we found was Christian Healthcare Ministries. Now, Christian Healthcare Ministries is actually a voluntary cost-sharing ministry, so it's not technically healthcare, but basically what happens is you pay your monthly bill and the majority of that goes to paying someone else's bill. So essentially, every time we make a monthly payment, we're actually helping someone else in the program by paying off their healthcare bills. But let me show you exactly how this breaks down and why this is probably the best option out there when it comes to healthcare. There are 3 memberships or programs that you can get through Christian Healthcare Ministries, and those are Bronze, Silver, and Gold. So I'll start with Bronze and what that offers. Basically, with the Bronze program, for $78 per unit per month, you get shared medical expenses exceeding $5,000 and up to $125,000. And that includes inpatient or outpatient hospital incidents or surgeries, and that doesn't include maternity bills or testing and treatments outside the hospital. In the Silver program, it's $118 per unit per month, and you share medical expenses exceeding $1,000 as long as there's other guidelines that are met, and up to $125,000 per month. Now with this one, is you get the same exact stuff as Bronze, but you get the maternity bills covered up to $2,500 per pregnancy. And then lastly, you have the Gold program. And now this includes everything that the Silver and Bronze has, and it is $172 per month per unit, and it covers 100% of any medical expenses exceeding $500. Now this one includes full coverage of maternity, doctor visits are covered if they're related to that incident, same with prescriptions, and like I said, you get up to $125,000 per illness. Now Gold is the one that my wife and I have, and the reason we have it is, like this says, it covers up to 100% after you hit the $500 mark. With Bronze, you have to hit a $5,000 mark. Silver, you have to hit $2,500 per incident, and then with Gold, like I said, you have to hit $500. So basically what this means is if you have an incident and the medical bills are up to $500, then you have to cover that. But anything over $500, they'll cover that first $500 and everything over that. So it's 100% covered. Now, obviously, because my wife and I have kids, Gold makes the most sense because, well, we spend more time in the hospital and the doctor's office visits because my son likes to jump off of things and smash his head. And so when we go to the hospital because of an incident, as long as it goes over $500, it's covered 100%. Now there's been a couple times where it hasn't hit that $500 mark, and obviously that's all out of pocket for us, but that's okay because honestly it saves us a lot more money in the long run by being in this program. Now another note I'll make is it says per unit. And so with Gold, you pay $172 per month per unit. And a unit means a person. However, the way Christian Healthcare Ministry does it is a unit is technically an adult, and then anything that's a kid is kind of all lumped together. So my wife and I are 2 units, and then all of our kids is 1 unit. So every single month, we're technically just paying 3 units. And then if we have another child, it doesn't go up a unit because that just kind of gets lumped in with the kid unit. Now, another reason we have the Gold program is because it covers maternity 100%. Now, if you notice, as I went through, every single package offers up to $125,000 in coverage per illness. Now, what this means is if you have an illness or some kind of issue or something happens, they'll cover 100% up to $125,000 per package. However, they also offer this thing called Brother's Keeper. And so for a $40 annual fee and then a $45 per unit quarterly fee, they will increase that $125,000 per incident per package. So for the Bronze and Silver package, they add an additional $100,000, so then you're at $225,000 per illness, and then they also add $100,000 every single year that you renew your Brother's Keeper. But for the Gold package, if you pay for Brother's Keeper, that $125,000 per illness goes to unlimited. So basically, if you have some kind of issue like cancer that can reach hundreds of thousands of dollars in costs, they will cover 100% of that if you just pay the $40 annual fee and the $45 per unit quarterly fee, and they will cover that issue if you have the Gold package unlimited. Now this is something my wife and I have along with the Gold package. So we have the Gold package and Brother's Keeper because obviously that makes a lot more sense to pay that $40 annual fee and then $45 per unit quarterly to have unlimited coverage if something was to horribly go wrong. The way I see it, the bronze and silver packages are great for someone that's single and just wants to have something that's kind of like a coverage in case something horrible happens. However, if you have a family, which means you'll end up in the hospital a lot more, trust me, then the Gold package is probably the best option for you. It covers way more. The minimum of spend is $500, not $2,500 or $5,000, which is pretty hard to hit on those two. But $500 is pretty easy to hit, and then they'll cover 100%. And then tied in with the Brother's Keeper to get everything covered unlimited, it's just kind of a no-brainer to get the Gold package. Now, one point I will make about Christian Healthcare Ministries is in order to register for this program, you have to live by Christian values. So what that means is you can't be like a drug addict or something like that. And I mean, who has time to do that if you're self-employed and an entrepreneur? But I wanted to make sure that caveat was in there because they are pretty selective on who is able to join this program. Now I've gone over what Christian Healthcare Ministries is and what their price points are. Let me go over what my wife and I like and don't like about this program. First, there isn't any crazy like premiums or monthly things that I have to pay in order to hit that healthcare point. So many times when you have a full-time job, when you go in to go get your healthcare coverage, it's just so all over the place. Like one thing will be covered, but something else won't be, and it'll be covered by a certain doctor, but other things won't be covered by that doctor. It's just absolutely crazy. With Christian Healthcare Ministries, with the Gold package, if I hit that $500 point with whatever healthcare issue there is, it gets covered 100%. No questions asked, just wherever I go, that $500 point, it's covered. To me, it's so more streamlined and less confusing that way, and it just makes way more sense. The second thing is we know that our money is going to go help other people. It's not going and lining someone's pocket or helping some insurance agent. It's actually going to help someone else that has a healthcare issue, and it's directly being used for that. Third, I know I already mentioned this, but maternity is fully covered. And when you're in a time of life like that where everything is just crazy and your kid's up all night, it's just nice to know that not another bill is going out the door. Now, number 4 is if you donate anything over that monthly payment, it's actually tax deductible. And speaking of government stuff, and this is kind of number 5, but Christian Healthcare Ministries actually counts as healthcare. So you don't get dinged on your taxes for not having healthcare. I understand President Trump's already gotten rid of that, but it's good to have something in place in case another president comes in and changes that. Now, those are like big things that my wife and I love about Christian Healthcare Ministries. And there's a couple things that are a little like about Christian Healthcare Ministries. One, not everything is covered. If there's a healthcare issue, like I mentioned, my son jumping off of things and hitting his head, that's covered. Or if I get super sick and I'm puking all the time and I need to go to the hospital, that's covered. Or if my kids are puking all the time and they're super sick and they need IVs, that's covered. But if I want to go to the doctor's office and do a normal checkup, or if I want to get a vaccine or something, those aren't covered. The second thing is dental isn't covered whatsoever. Now, for someone like me, I drank a ton of Monster Energy in high school, and so my teeth are really messed up. And so it's a bit difficult when I have to go to the dentist and get my cavity filled or something along those lines, and I have to pay for that all out of pocket. And third, Christian Healthcare Ministries asks that you negotiate with hospitals and doctors to get the price down. And honestly, this one isn't actually really even a complaint. It's just more of, it's something else that you have to have on your plate. But it's really not that difficult to call the hospital or the doctor's office up and say that you are self-pay and to see what kind of discount they can give you. What's crazy is there's a couple hospitals that my wife has called and they've given her up to 50% off because she's self-pay. But when it comes down to it, the positive aspects totally outweigh the negative aspects of Christian Healthcare Ministries. And quite frankly, those 3 negatives that I mentioned aren't even really that bad. So after looking over everything, my wife and I figured Christian Healthcare Ministries is a no-brainer. We've had it for a couple years. It's been totally great, and we've really had no issues whatsoever with it. And so if you want more information or to sign up for Christian Healthcare Ministries, especially if you're self-employed or an entrepreneur, I left a link below in the description where you can go and get that more information and to register. And like I said, out of all the options my wife and I have researched, Christian Healthcare Ministries is totally the best option. So definitely click that link below and sign up for it because it will save you a ton of money in the long run. Also, if you're interested in watching more videos about how to grow your business or how to make more money, definitely subscribe to my channel. I come out with videos every single week on those topics. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to like it so that more people can see it so we can help more people out. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you in the next one.